Hello. Good evening, everybody. This is Jason with Akers Pest Control. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Let me know if I don't sound good, if you can hear me, if you can't hear me, whatever. Let me know. So, nice to see everybody. I see we got quite a few people in here already tonight. I'm late again, but I was out doing bees tonight. I actually had a call. I was out dealing with European hornets. So, there you go. That's what I was doing tonight. I got a video with my GoPro, and so maybe I'll be able to get one up here soon, show you how to kill some hornets. So, hey Molly, hey Robert. Nice to see you two in here tonight. Hope everybody's doing all right. Hope everybody's ready for the weekend. And one more day, one more day, then we can say TGIF, right? So, hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Hey, Caveman. Says hello from Canada. Jason and everybody. Hey, everybody. Jason and the chatters. For those that don't watch me regularly, this is my live stream night, Thursday night. I say every night after 9:30, every Thursday night after 9:30, but boy, it's really after 9:30 tonight. It ain't but quarter till 11. But that's the soonest I could get here. I just put my kids to bed. In fact, I can still hear them a little bit, footprints up in their room upstairs. So they're still pitter-pattering up there. They're not completely asleep yet. But tonight I wanted to go over one thing that I usually don't do this. I usually don't talk about this, but I put in a promotion so for those of you that are here for bedbugs. Now, the name of it is the Bedbug Show. That's what we talk about a lot here. Crossfire and different ways to kill bed bugs, you know, whether or not heat is viable and different options like that. And I do have a course that I have online. Actually, I should probably put that up here just to show you what it looks like. Let me see if I can get that link. Let's see. My course, there it is. So let's go there and I can show it to you. So the link is in the description below. And it is right there. So this is my course on how to eliminate bed bugs. It's about 36 minutes long. It's about, I think it's like the 8 to 10 videos, including like automobiles. Let me see. There's one on automobiles. There's one on bedrooms, living rooms, and different places to treat in your house to kill bed bugs. And so you can go here and you can get this, or actually I'm doing I'm giving away free courses. Of course, it's just $15 for the course. It's not very much. It's typically $150 for the course, but it's only $15. If you've never used, I don't know how to pronounce the name of the site, UDEMY. Let me see if I can pull it down here so you can see. There we go. But you can actually preview it if you click here. So there's me. There's me. And then you've got all these different ones. There's the introduction here. So we could turn it on so you can hear it. Let's see how it works here.
Jason Akers again with Akers Pest Control. I've been on YouTube for over 4 years.
Okay, and then you got this one.
When inspecting a living room,
it's very ASMR.
Always move breakable things out of the area of inspection.
But anyway, I hate listening to myself do that video. So anyhow, but that's the course, and I'm giving them away for free. I've got 5 promo codes for the course. And the way it works is when people book with my so if you ever want to talk to me privately, I know it's not in everyone's budget to book with me privately, but I have a, this is another thing I have in the links below. It's you can book an appointment to talk to me privately over the phone, and I can discuss it. I mean, we don't have to talk about bed bugs. We can talk about anything you want as far as bugs, but I've got FaceTime consultations and I've got just regular telephone consultations. That's also in the link below. So I just wanted to put that out there. I don't like to promote myself very often. I don't like to, but I figured I'd put that out there and just let you know that if you're interested in talking to me privately, where you don't want to really put everything out over the internet and let everybody know your business, then you can do that. Or you can call tonight. You know, I've got the phone number right there, right under my chin, right here. And so you can call if you have any questions or anything, and you can ask your question live, and everybody will hear you. But you can ask it now if you want to. So I try to make myself available for people, so you can find me, you can talk to me, you can, just that's the way I like to do things. So Alicia says, "Hello, Jason. Regards to Alicia from Alicia. I would like to see her." All right. Well, Alicia is actually not sitting here with me tonight. She's upstairs. She said we had to drive to the midwife today. For those that don't know, we're having a baby, another baby, and this will be my fourth baby. It's a little boy, and I don't know if she's ready to tell people what the name of the little boy is yet, but he's supposed to be born in October, and so we were going to the midwife today to talk. So we got back, and then I had to run out and kill hornets, and I didn't get back home until after 9:30. And then I ate dinner, and now here I am. And she's like, "I'm just going to sit up here and rest on the couch." So she's not actually sitting down with me today. So Molly says, "Silly me, been trying to keep mosquitoes away. You probably have videos, but since we're all here, any suggestions?" Okay, so also black beetles, they come on my patio. Okay, so mosquitoes are they are something that I usually don't sell. And the reason I don't sell mosquito work is because I don't think it is a very good option for pest control. And I'll explain. So it's not that you're not going to kill the mosquitoes in your yard. So if you could treat your yard for mosquitoes, you could treat around your house for mosquitoes, bushes and stuff like that, and you can kill mosquitoes. The problem is that if everyone in your neighborhood is not going to do the same thing, you're going to continue to get eat up with mosquitoes. So if you go out and your neighbors, like for example, the subdivision I live in, I'm on a half acre lot, and everyone down the street is on about a half acre lot. So everyone's real close to each other. So unless everybody treats their yard and around their house for mosquitoes, yeah, I can treat my yard. They won't live in the yard. They won't live on the bushes. They won't live here. But when I walk outside, they only have a few feet to travel before they're stinging or biting me or whatever. So it's not going to stop the mosquitoes from actually feeding on you at night when you go outside. It's just going to keep them from roosting on your house or in your yard. What I usually advise people to do is try to get rid of any kind of debris in the yard. If you've got a lot of old tires or just like a wood pile or something like that, try to take those things away. Places that water is going to stand around the house, you want to try to eliminate those things and get rid of them, so you don't have any standing water, places to breed. Kid pools, this time of year, it's summertime. A lot of people will get like the little kiddie pools and stuff. Try to, pour the water out of those things. Don't leave them sitting more than a day or two, because the mosquitoes will start to breed in the standing water, and you want to pour those out and get rid of the water. Also, Chaos says, about the black beetles, you can treat, the yard treatment will kill the black beetles. So if you do a yard treatment, like I said, for the mosquitoes and things, you're going to get rid of the black beetles. So Chaos says, "Do you have any recommendations for dealing with gnats in the house?" So by gnats, there's two different types of flies people typically get in their house. As far as like a gnat type fly, either fruit flies or drain flies. Now, if you've got fruit flies, I recommend washing your bananas when you bring them in the house. So, and this is funny. So even though they're in the peel still, wash them. Take them, unhook them, put them under water, wash them off with some cold water, and what that does. So bananas are like the leading cause of fruit flies in the house. Later in the year, maybe citrus, but mostly fruit flies come in on bananas. So you want to take your bananas and you want to wash them out under the faucet and clean all the bananas off. And it sounds silly because you're like, well, no one typically eats the peel. But fruit flies will lay their eggs on the banana peels. And when you bring them home, you don't see the eggs. The eggs hatch and you have fruit flies flying all over your kitchen. So I usually advise for people to take the bananas and wash them. Look for rotten potatoes, like a potato bin. You might have a potato that's bad in the very back of the potato bin, or an onion. those are really easy to overlook. And so look for things like that. And that's going to take care of fruit flies. Now, if you have drain flies coming out of your drains, I tell people to wash the drains. And so the way that you typically will do that, and you want to be careful if you're on a septic system because you don't want to wash too much bleach down your drains. But I usually advise people put a cap full of bleach down each drain and then wash water down behind it. And what that does is it cleans the gunk and the grime and the goo. It kills the bacteria that breeds in your drains, which is what the drain flies are going to come and breed in. And if you do that, you're gonna get rid of your drain fly problem because there's nothing there for them to breed in. They breed in drains. They're called drain flies for a reason. They breed in the drain. Now, especially if you have a double basin sink in the kitchen where you're washing dishes maybe in one side and then you drain them in the other side, the drain side hardly ever gets used. I mean, yeah, your dishes are gonna drip, 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 but you're never actually running any water down the drain. And so I recommend putting a cap full of bleach down that drain as well and make sure. And sometimes that's all it takes. In fact, I had a customer of mine that I told to do this to clean her drains out real well. And she said she did do that, and that took care of her drain fly problem altogether. So that's one thing that you can do to take care of the flies in the house. Also, general inside pest control. If you treat around your windows and your doors inside the house, light sources, anywhere the light is going to come in through your windows, you want to treat around the window sills and around the window, just the window frame itself inside. Then when the flies go to the window because they're attracted to light, they will actually bounce around in the windows, get into the pesticide residue, and die. So that's one option. Candy says, hello from Illinois. It's 9:50 here. Yep, y'all are on Central Time, so you're an hour behind. I think it's considered behind, ahead, behind, whatever, because it's 10:50 here, 9:50 there. So Joe Smith says, if you find out that someone who has been in your house has a bed bug problem, are there any precautions that you should take? In your house? If you find out that someone who has been in your house has bed bug problems, so someone might have accidentally brought them into your house, so you could do a preventative. So I try to explain to people that preventative pest control is not a bad option. It's a really good thing for people who are worried about bed bugs. And this is in a time where the industry is moving away from doing inside. In fact, a lot of pest control are trying to deal with, outside only, and they're not doing inside at all. And that's a problem. So when you're doing a bed bug treatment, you need, let me see something here. When you're doing a bed bug treatment or a preventative bed bug treatment or a preventative cockroach treatment, then you need to be able to go and treat all around, inside and outside, not just inside the house. Now, bed bugs are only going to be inside. Roaches are typically only going to be inside. But if you're doing an outside pest control treatment to keep things like spiders and fleas and ticks and ants and crickets and cockroaches and things like that out of the house, then yeah, outside's going to be great. Outside's going to be good for that. But if you're going to try to get rid of things like bed bugs, then preventatively, you need to treat inside the house. You need to do baseboards. And a lot of the industry has moved away from this. And this is one of the reasons I believe that bed bugs have made such a huge comeback, is because most pest control guys will even tell you, I can show you forum posts from Facebook where people are like, I don't even do the inside anymore. Oh yeah, I pretend to treat inside the house, but I'm not actually doing anything because the customer doesn't know anything. And they'll say that. And this is something that is really bad practice. I think it's a bad practice for pest control in the instance of bed bugs, when somebody that you know is prone to bringing bed bugs into the home. What they might work as a nurse, they might work in a movie theater, they might work as a home care person, or maybe in a nursing home, or just a nurse. These are people that are very high risk of bringing bed bugs into their home. So these are homes it's very important to do a preventative pest control inside the house in order to stop bed bugs from becoming infesting in these homes. But like I said, the industry has moved away from that. So I've got over 30 years of experience in pest control. My father used to work for a company in the 80s, early 80s. He started his business in 85, and I've been working with him since I was like 6-7 years old. So I've got a lot of really old training. And I understand the premise of we only do the outside because bugs come from outside. I understand that. but there are a lot of bugs that actually come from inside, meaning that they are brought into the house on people's clothing, on belongings, in things we buy at the store, like cockroaches and things. And if we are not doing the inside of the house on a preventative basis, we are not going to eliminate these problems before they become a problem. I had a customer one time that I treated from the time I was, 12, 10, 12 years old. And I remember I was like 20, 25, 26. I was in her house and I was treating her house every single month. I do inside and outside every single month. And she had come back from vacation, and in her closet, she had put her luggage. And when I went into the closet to treat the closet around the baseboards, like I always do, there's her luggage bags right there with bed bugs all over the floor, dead. All right. The bed bugs did not get into her bed. They did not get past her closet where she kept her luggage. They died in her closet. So this is a really important, preventative thing. Like I said, if more pest control was doing more prevention rather than just eliminating the problem after it's occurred, then when you go into somebody's house, you're just going to find dead bed bugs and they're not going to infest the home. So that's why I say I think that it's important to do preventative inside, not only outside, but inside service as well, because of the time we live in and because we're having problems with roaches resurging again, bed bugs coming into the scene again that we haven't had in so long. And so I think it's important to do all of this and be very thorough and not skimp. It does, what is it, like, 3 pennies, 10 cents at most in product? Just do the work, get it done. The customer is taken care of, and they're not going to have the problem that they would have normally had. So there's my soapbox for the night. So Green Planta Channel says, I need your business here in Massachusetts. I cannot say your state. I'm sorry. Massachusetts. I can't say it. I've never been able to say Massachusetts. Massachusetts. No, that's not right. Molly says, yes, saved me 3 times over. I swear the residual preventatives treatment keep me in peace. Trent says, should restaurant treatments for maintenance be done with a respirator when using hard spray or IGR and no aerosol? You use a respirator if the label calls for a respirator. If you're doing restaurant treatment and the pesticide that you're using in the restaurant calls for a respirator, use a respirator. If you're using a dust, like a boric acid or maybe some delta dust or alpine dust or something, and you're worried you might breathe it in, then use a respirator. It says this on the label. Just follow your labels, and you should know when to use a label and when not to, because it'll tell you when to use one. Molly says eggs can hatch months later, but the prevention treatment can keep you in peace. Yes, exactly. I saw one that later died. Stop in before it's a problem. Yep. So you were just agreeing with what I was talking about. So yeah, this is one of the things that I see all the time in the industries moving further and further away. In fact, if you've watched my latest video, I actually did one on, let's see. Where is this video? Oh, eliminate bed bugs in your stuff. So if you're curious about how to eliminate bed bugs in your personal belongings, let's say you have a TV or an Xbox or tennis shoes or something under your bed. Maybe you've got a box of like keepsakes under the bed, and you're worried that you can't leave these things in your apartment for like a heat treatment because it would ruin these things. If you were to leave them in and, you can't spray them, you can't just pull everything out and spray all over them because you could damage these belongings. You definitely can't spray in like a TV because TV's electrical. You don't ever spray wet things in electronics. I did a video on how to eliminate bed bugs in these things, and I'll show you real quick. So if you go to my channel, and in fact, it's youtube.com/greenacrespc. And so if you go up to the top, and this is it, you click this little subscribe button right here, because you guys really should be subscribing, because I got a lot of good information on here about bugs. But in fact, I wish this kind of stuff was, if this stuff was available when I was younger, it saves so much, So let me explain. When bed bugs first became a problem for me, I was 17 years old. Very first bed bug job I ever did was in Roanoke, Virginia, off of Williamson Road in Roanoke. I didn't do another bed bug job for 3 years after that. But so I had 2 weeks to prepare. So what it was is I was at a restaurant, servicing a restaurant, and I went to get paid at lunchtime because that's when anybody was there. I always went really early in the morning at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd service the whole restaurant, and then I would come back at lunch when they were open, and I would get paid. And so I was there at lunchtime, and one of the waitresses approached me and she said, I've got bed bugs in my house. I'm positive they're bed bugs. Can you come treat my house? Now, I had never done a bed bug job. Never. And so what I did was I went to the library and I searched for the whole 2 weeks. I drove out to the library in Bedford, Virginia, pulled out every single book that they had on bed bugs. I read about DDT. I read about why DDT was taken off the market because bed bugs were becoming immune to it anyway. The bed bugs weren't even dying from DDT anymore. The introduction of synthetic pyrethroids and how they affected bed bugs. I had 2 encyclopedias and several other books that had articles, even newspaper articles on bed bugs from like the 50s, 60s, 70s on people dealing with this problem because I had never done a bed bug job. And so I researched for 2 straight weeks, went out, killed her bed bugs with 1 treatment. And I've been doing bed bugs ever since. So and I'm constantly learning more and more and more. And like I said, with my channel, because I've got so much stuff on here, I mean, if you go to my channel and you just click this little search right here and just type bed bugs, all right, and press enter, and look at it's got how to kill bed bugs completely using alcohol, which I don't recommend, but you have to watch a video. That's more of a clickbaity type title. But how to identify bed bug bites. This is the most recent one right here. Eliminate bed bugs in your stuff. Bed bugs in my couch. Where to check your couch for bed bugs. Top 3 places bed bugs come from. Bed bugs and how to deal with stress they cause. Vicane and bed bugs. Landlords and bed bugs. So lots of different videos on bed bugs on my channel. If I had this kind of information all in one spot, it would have saved me so much time. It would have saved me I wouldn't have been sitting here for 2 straight weeks at the library trying to figure out how to kill bed bugs. But you got to understand, when I was 17, 18 years old, we didn't have internet. The only internet that we had was like a dial-up modem, and it would take you forever to look up anything. So it was very convenient having, like I said, having YouTube. But yeah, so if you're curious on how to get rid of bed bugs, because this is something that's actually asked on my live stream all the time, which is why I made that video on how to get rid of bed bugs in your stuff. It's because I need to be able to point people to a good, short, sweet video that you can go and watch. So if you're interested, go check that video out if you're trying to get rid of bed bugs in your personal belongings, and I explain exactly what to do. We've had an exterminator treat for bed bugs. We started using Crossfire, and we still have them. So that depends on, now, to get rid, Jim, of your bed bugs, you have to treat pretty regularly, once a month. You have to understand that it takes time for bugs to hatch. So the bed bug has a life cycle. In fact, let me see if I can pull a picture up here. Bed bug life cycle. All right. So let's see here. So this is a bed bug life cycle right here. Let's see if I can just pull the picture. Can I pull just the picture? That's actually from Adobe Stock. I've got that picture. Open image in a new tab. There we go. All right, so the bed bug life cycle. Let's see, let's see if I can zoom in. There we go. Perfect. All right, so it starts with the egg. The egg takes 6 to 10 days to hatch, and then you have your first stage instar. This bug doesn't bite you right away. It takes 6 to 10 days to bite you. And then you have the second stage. It sheds its skin. It becomes a second stage instar. Then that bug takes 6 to 10 days to bite you, and then it becomes a third stage instar, and so on and so forth. And so 6 to 10 days, 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 6 to 10 days. Now it's an adult. Now it can bite you and lay eggs. So then it mates with a male, and then it's able to reproduce once every 8 weeks. They can produce eggs every day. A female can lay anywhere from 250 to 500 eggs in her life cycle, but it's typically about 250 to 300 eggs. That's how much a female lays in her lifetime. And like I said, then those eggs reproduce and so on and so forth. So you figure From this stage all the way to this stage, it takes anywhere from 30 to 60 days to reach this stage right here to where they're actually laying eggs. So when you treat with Crossfire, these eggs, so let's say you treated today. Well, this bug right here just laid eggs today. So these eggs are not going to hatch for another week and a half. And this bug is not going to bite you for a week and a half after that. And then it bites you for the first time. So 2 weeks from today, 2 to 3 weeks from today, these eggs will be hatching and they'll be ready to bite you. This bug right here will be ready to bite you. So that's what you need to understand about bed bugs, is that they don't bite right away. So if you're having problems where you still have like if you treat with Crossfire today, in 2 weeks you'll still have bed bugs, but those last few cycles will be coming out and they'll be dying in the 2 to 3 week period of time. So typically I tell my customers, don't worry about calling me back for a follow-up for at least 3 to 4 weeks. And if you wait that long, typically all the bugs are dead by then. I don't do hardly any follow-ups at all because most people don't need me to do a follow-up, after the initial. I do some. I have done some. Every year I have a few that I have to go back on, but it's not that common. And it's not common enough for me to tell the customer, look, we're going to service your house 2 visits at least, or we're going to service your house for 3 visits at least. This is the way I used to be for years and years. But since I've been using Crossfire, I just haven't worried about having to go back because it isn't needed. And why would you charge the customer, 3 times what they would actually need to pay? Because you figure if you have to come out 3 visits in a row, you're going to have to charge that customer based on every time you have to come to their house. And so if you're only having to come once, it saves them a third. I mean, they're only paying a third of what they would normally have to pay. And if they need you to come out a second time, you can, but to come out a third is practically, not even needed at all. Really, honestly, I haven't had to go back on a third treatment. I had to go back on one last year because the landlord was renting to a guy that continued to dumpster dive. And he was bringing back stuff into the property from dumpsters. So that was an issue, but that's a rare thing. It doesn't happen all the time. So Candy says, our exterminator sprayed temperate 3 times and didn't spray good at all. And when he tried Alpine and it still didn't work, we sprayed on our own Crossfire and Semexa 3 times and we still have bed bugs. So I would not use Semexa if you're using Crossfire, because Crossfire and Semexa can counteract each other. I usually don't recommend a dust, especially something like Semexa, because it's a silicate and bed bugs can be deterred to walk through it. So I usually recommend just Crossfire by itself. If there is still a residue of, say, temperate or Alpine, it could be causing a problem with the Crossfire, where the bed bugs may not want to crawl through the Crossfire. It could be a chemical reaction between the two. It could be something causing them not to want to get in the Crossfire, because I usually use Crossfire alone by itself, and I don't use anything else. If you live in an area like with apartments, you could be getting people, like your neighbor could be doing things and chasing the bed bugs back into your unit. You could be bringing them back into your house from somewhere else. I mean, how did you get them in the first place? There's lots of different scenarios as to why you're continuing to have a problem with bed bugs. Most of the time, people continue to have problems with bed bugs because a neighbor or a friend continues to bring them into the house. Joe Smith says, are there any concerns with using Crossfire in a house with small children? Not that I know of. As long as you follow the label, you're not going to hurt anybody. There's no signal word on the label of Crossfire either, so it's really safe to use around children and pets. Victoria says, I wish you lived closer. Any pest control exterminator recommendation for the Wisconsin or Illinois? I don't know. I can't help you. I'm sorry. Molly says, Candy, from my personal experience, it took about a month and a half until they were all gone. Hang in there. I have such peace and joy now. See my post earlier. Yeah, Molly was having a pretty hard time with them. I remember when she was here and she was asking questions about how to get rid of bed bugs. Molly's been here for what? I think Molly's been a subscriber for my channel for at least a couple years. But I remember when she first had bed bugs. Candy said that they started on Christmas. We started Crossfire about a month and a half ago, though. Yes, so it's been about a month and a half and you've been using Crossfire, but you've also been using Semexa. And I don't recommend using a dust. The only dust I recommend using with Crossfire would be like Alpine D dust, and only in your wall voids. So you take the outside of your outlet covers off, and you can puff a little bit of dust inside the wall void, but you need a bellows duster. I'll show you what one looks like. Like one of these right here. This is a bellows hand duster. This is a bellows hand duster. This one. You know, these are what you typically use, and you only fill this, like this one's a really good one. You only fill it, like if you, I don't know if you guys can see that spring in there, only to about the half spring, and you don't hold it like this. You turn it upside down, so you just puff a little bit of cloud, just a very little bit inside the wall. And that's all you would want. And you don't need to do it, you know, maybe in your box spring, but if you open your box spring, you can treat in the box spring with Crossfire. So that's what I would do. That's what I recommend, removing the felts and treating underneath the box spring. Or inside the box spring, I should say. Excuse me. Chaos Omen says, is it possible you're getting them again from a family member or something? Yeah, see, that's what I think. To be fighting bed bugs for ever since Christmas, but see, you've only been using Crossfire for the last month and a half, but it sounds like they might be coming back from someone. And you say that you're not letting anyone back into the house, but if you look at, so this is a way a lot of people were getting bed bugs last year. So the year 2020, the horrible year of the plague, all right? People were getting home delivery. People were getting Instacart. People were getting Uber Eats. People were doing all these things and having all these things delivered in their house in someone else's personal vehicle. So what happens is when people are in their personal vehicle and they're, you know, they may have helped a friend move, you know, in their car. And then they've got bed bugs in their trunk, and then they go to Whole Foods or you know, Target or Kroger or Food Lion, you know, somewhere like that, and they pick these groceries up and they set them in their trunk, and then they bring them to your house and they unload them at your house, and the bags could possibly have bed bugs on them. And so it could be that you're getting the same exact person delivering every single you know, every single time, you know, you get the same person. In fact, when my wife would do Instacart, a lot of times the same person would show up here, you know, several weeks in a row. And so that's a way you could reintroduce bed bugs into your home and not even realize you have them getting in your house. It was happening here. It was happening here in Lynchburg. People were bringing them in to people's home that way. So Caveman asks, do they only eat once and then molt? So what happens, let me bring that picture back up again. Okay, let's see. Boom. So from this stage, from the egg to the instar. Now the instar, the first instar bites you. Now the reason they bite you is because they shed their skin. They're getting ready to shed their skin. So they get a full blood meal. It engorges on blood, which helps them shed their skin. And then they use that blood to grow larger. So in the next, between this life cycle and the second life stage, the second instar, they are using the blood from the first instar and growing to the second. And now we have a call. Let's see what's going on here. Hello, this is Jason with Green Acres. How are you?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure, what's going on?
Excuse me?
You may want to turn off your sound because I can hear myself and it's messing you
okay.
up.
I'm sorry.
You're
sorry.
fine.
Okay, now. Okay, I have a bed bug problem. I live in a mobile home.
Okay.
I bought Crossfire maybe about 3 or 4 times, and I spray a lot. I do the usual. But here's the question: I have come to find out that they are on me. They walk around with me. I want to know how to keep them off of me.
So you have bed bugs. It's not possible for bed bugs to live on a human being, not that I know of. So you mean like do you see them?
I feel them.
Okay, but if you feel them, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what they are. You may have something else walking on you. It could be like a mite, like a bird mite, or a clover mite, or a like a spider mite, you will feel them, but you can't necessarily see them, and they will bite you, and they will make you itch, they will make you scratch, but you won't necessarily get bug bites from them. Like, it won't actually swell up. It's possible that that's what's biting you and not a bed bug.
Wow. If,
How you get rid of that?
Well, bed
no,
bugs
well,
don't
yeah.
live. See, the thing is the reason bed bugs can't live on a human being is because and they don't live on pets either, like cats and dogs. They can't transport on them because they don't have sticky pads on their feet. So, you read old comic books about Spider-Man and stuff, and how his fingers are sticky because he can climb on the wall. That's how spiders are.
Right.
Spiders, ants, crickets, silverfish, cockroaches. These animals, these bugs, all have sticky pads on their feet, which allow them to crawl on the surfaces. They crawl on you. Like, if you could shake your hand, and sometimes you can't even get the spider to fall off of your hand, even if you shake it, because they can stick to you. Bed bugs can't do that. And so that's why I said it's not really possible for them to live on you or crawl around on you. They can crawl on you while you're asleep, sure, and bite you, but as soon as you get up, they fall off, and they scurry to wherever it is they're trying to hide. So it's not possible for them to actually live on you. Now, the way people transport them from home to home is in their clothing. So I actually just talked to a guy with the similar problem to you. He just called me a couple days ago, and I went over bird mites with him. And bird mites can live up to 9 months without a bird. They will eventually starve to death if they don't have a bird. They have to have a bird. It's what they feed on. But they think that they can get their blood meal from you, and so they will bite you, and they will crawl on you, and it feels like a prickly feeling all over your body. It is miserable. It's absolutely miserable. And so the way that you can get rid of them, they eventually will starve, or you can treat your house with like oh man, I'll tell you what, let me see if I can find the pesticide here. I had it on here. Bird mites. There we go. The Suspend right here. I don't know if you're watching my channel still or not, but the Suspend SC is a good pesticide for mites. It's really good for mites, and so you could take it and you could treat around in your house in the cracks and crevices around your baseboards, around your windows, doors. Try to take any nests off of your house. So if you have like birds roosting around outside your windows, or even as close to just a neighboring tree within the few like 3 to 4 feet from the house, you want to look and make sure you don't have those around the house. And if you can eliminate that, a lot of times you can eliminate your mite problem and they'll go away.
Okay.
But it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like bed bugs. They won't live on you, and you will see them. If they are there, you will see them.
I never see them, but I feel a bite. No, I don't even feel a bite. I feel something and it start itching. They be in between my fingers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, and that sounds like mites. That really does sound like mites doing it. That really does, because I've had them. So the reason I say this is because I did a job one time for a customer where I had to actually remove a bird. A bird had gotten in, made a nest, and died. And I actually had to remove the bird. I had to remove the nesting material, and the nest was full of bird mites. They got all inside my coat. They got in my shirt. They got in my truck. They went home with me. They got in my house. It was absolutely a nightmare. It took me about 3 weeks to get rid of them in my vehicle. And they don't die right away either. Even from the pesticide residue, they don't die right away. I had to treat my truck. I had to treat my house. It was absolutely horrible. And they feel... and you're right. They don't feel like they're biting, but they make you itch because they're crawling through the hair on your arms, and you feel it, and it makes you scratch. And I'm scratching right now thinking about it. But that's the way I eliminated them. I actually had to treat my vehicle, and this is another thing. So I had a guy call me last year. He was a truck driver, and he drives all across the country. But where he parks his truck, in fact, I talk about it in that video on bird mites on my channel. But where he parks his truck in the parking garage is infested with mites. It's infested with pigeons. And so when he parks his truck, the bird mites get in his truck. And then he has to drive all across the country with his truck full of mites. And so you can treat your vehicles for this too. So think about that too. If you park near a place where birds roost, birds might be there. and you can treat your vehicle, kill them in the vehicle, and then try to eliminate wherever that nest is.
Okay, so bed bugs will not just get in your hair and stay there.
No, they won't. They'll fall off. I mean, I guess if it was like a wig or something, they might be able to live in a wig, but it's just not.
No, I don't
It's
have
not a
a
place they
wig.
would want to live. It's not a place they really want. They don't like vibration, and for them to live on you would just be against their nature.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So, but good
Well,
luck.
all right. I appreciate it. I
You
guess,
have a good
but
night.
I do know I still have bed bugs in here. Thank you. But Crossfire, I appreciate your show, and I'm laying here in my bed looking at this. Thank you so
All
much.
right. You have a good one. Bye.
All right.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, but just to reiterate too, if you do have problems where you can't actually see bed bugs, but you can feel them crawling on you, it's probably not bed bugs. It probably is something other than bed bugs. I mean, I would say fleas, but most people can see those. Molly says, yes, true that she got rid of bed bugs in her car. Let's see if I can scroll back up. I know there's a lot being said here. A lot of people talking tonight. Greg says, do you spray baseboards at all for quarterly service? Yeah, I do that. We put Semexa in the outlets only. If you have mites, you got to rub cream. Yeah, you can put lotions and stuff on your skin, and it will help kind of deter the mites from crawling on you. But they will eventually get on you again. Hey, Ice, how are you doing tonight? My son went to Tennessee and brought them to us. We've been fighting them ever since Christmas. We haven't let anyone over since. Let's see. The real duct tape bandlet says, I ordered Crossfire Saturday because I found an evil bed bug in my bed last Wednesday. I have a cat that is highly allergic to almost everything. How long should I wait until I reduce? Okay, so you should be able to reintroduce the pet to the home within 3 to 4 hours after treating. Just make sure the area you've treated is dry. That's all. James says, my wife and my daughter have them in their hair and their ears, bed bugs. See, that just doesn't make sense. That sounds more like lice, like head lice. Head lice will live in your hair. Greg says, had bird mites get in a customer's house from a dead rat in their attic one time. I treated the house for fleas because they asked me to, but then discovered that the dead rat was in the attic. And also dead animals and stuff will bring fleas into your house, like rats and mice and stuff will bring fleas in the house as well. I had a customer that had a dead animal die under their trailer, and it ended up infesting the trailer with scabies. Molly says, I was so miserable. Hang in there. Oh, got another call. Hello, this is Jason with Green Acres. How are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I just asked about my cat that's kind of allergic. Like, he's allergic to everything. Well, I just found one of these bugs in my bed, okay? And
Okay.
I had these like 4 years ago when I lived with my husband.
Okay.
And his mother is a garage seller, and I'm assuming that's how she got them. Well, anyway, I ended up splitting up with him, but I found one of them, and it's because my friend rented a home, and the renter knew them bugs were in there, and so now she's got them. And that's my best friend, and I don't sit on her furniture, but I get her
Right.
car. And so I know that's how it
Oh, yeah, you'll get them from the car.
I haven't gotten bitten since I found it, but I ordered that stuff last Saturday, and it's supposed to be here by Saturday. So you think 4 hours tops before I introduce that
Well,
cat in there? Is
what
there
I-
like a smell?
No, well, it might smell a little bit. I find that it smells when you first mix it, but after it sits in the tank, maybe about a half hour, 45 minutes, it doesn't smell anymore. But the smell is so the problem with the pesticide, and the reason it tells you to keep, so if you read the label, it'll tell you to not allow
I've read it like
children,
3 or 4 times.
Yeah, well,
I've read
it'll tell you not
like
allow
3 or 4
anybody to enter the room after you treat it until it's dry. And so I usually tell people 3 to 4 hours. And the reason I say that is because I've been doing fleas all my life. And when you go in and do a flea job and you spray the whole floor, you may even treat inside couches and stuff like that. It gets damp, and you don't want your customer to come back into the house when the floor is still wet. And it does take about, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours for those surfaces to completely dry to the point where you don't even know anything's been done. And so I just tell people that just to be, on the safe side, because you don't want. Now, the cat is not going to be bothered by the pesticide. It shouldn't. No matter what the cat's allergic to, it should not bother the cat at all. It affects the part. Crossfire doesn't affect mammals.
It don't affect mammals. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about it hurting the cat. But the problem is that when the reason you don't want anybody to go back in the room is because let's say you, let me give you a hypothetical situation. I go into a house, I treat a house for bed bugs. I've treated the couch, I treat the beds, I treat the lazy boy recliners, I treat everything. And then, in fact, you can even treat cat beds and stuff too, because sometimes bed bugs will live on like the animal's bed, around the animal.
Yeah, it says that on the label.
Yeah, and so you don't want the cat to go in and jump on the couch and then soak the chemical up into its fur and then wander through the house, because then the chemical is no longer on the couch where it needs to be. And so you want to make sure all of those surfaces are dry so that, you go into a house and they've got kids and you tell the kids, don't get on the couch. And the first thing they do when you're not looking is they're going to go get on the couch and soak it into their clothes. And then there's no longer a pesticide there. It's not that it's harmful is the reason you need to be gone. It's because it's not going to be as effective if someone goes and stirs up the chemical. Wait and let it dry. The residue is not going to hurt your cat. It's not going to hurt children or you or anything. It's going to kill the bed bugs, but it's not going to harm you. Once it's dry, it's not going to be moved from where it's at.
Okay, and the woman I got them from, I ordered a bottle for her like 3 days later.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I'll get them again because that's my best friend,
I
know.
Well, I had a guy call me a couple years ago because he saw my YouTube channel, and he lives in D.C. And D.C. is not outside of my realm that I could go to, but because I do statewide bed bugs, I treat all of Virginia. And so I'm here in Lynchburg, and it's like 3.5 hours to D.C., and he called me and he said, hey, I would like you to treat my house. And I said, well, I can't because I'm not licensed in D.C. I can't treat D.C. And so I told him to go watch some of my videos on YouTube, and I sent him some links and stuff to Crossfire and everything. And he bought it. He called me 3 weeks later and said he got rid of them not only in his house, but his girlfriend's house too. And that's where he originally got them, was from his girlfriend's house. So it's absolutely possible for a person that doesn't have the kind of training I have to get rid of bed bugs. It's not impossible at all.
Okay, and I have a turtle too. Should I
don't treat around the aquarium
and cover it up?
Yes, you want to. Well, you can leave the turtle in the aquarium, but you do want to cover it so no drift or anything gets in the tank. You don't want anything to get in that tank with that turtle.
Okay, and unplug the filters system too.
Yep, unplug the filters. Okay. And I actually wouldn't even treat around the filters, honestly. The thing is that as long as you're treating your sofas and your beds and all the places you're going to sit, those types of furnitures, the bed bugs are going to naturally be drawn to those. And this is what I went over in one of my videos recently, is that, if you're treating thoroughly enough to where the barrier is actually you're treating around your body, where you're going to be at rest, where you're going to sleep. If you sleep on the couch, treat the couch. If you sleep in the bed, treat the bed. The bed bugs are going to come out. They're going to try to bite you in that area, and then they're going to die when they try to get to you. And so even if they are living like around a circulator for a fish tank or something like that, they're going to come out to come to you. You're the blood meal.
Right.
And when they crawl in the bed, they'll die.
Right. Well, when me and my husband had them down there, they bit me, and it would wake me up out of a dead sleep. I felt like I was on fire. Like, it was bad. It was a bad deal. Like, I had PTSD from it. I seen that bug and was like, oh my God, and like broke down for days. Literally, I'm serious. I broke down.
Right.
But this one that I found, I mashed it, and it didn't have no blood in it. And I just woke up, and oddly enough, I was looking for the remote and lost the remote in my bed. And I stripped my bed down every night because I don't like creases in my covers or anything like that. So I always, take my bed apart. Mm-hmm. But when I mashed it, there wasn't no blood in it, and I don't know if it just, I don't know.
It probably just hadn't bit you
yet.
If it went to bite you, and I mean, if it hadn't bit you yet, and you smushed it and no blood came out, then it probably hadn't bit you yet.
Yeah, that little sucker, he was waiting on me like he was right there.
Well, you rang the dinner bell by coming in the room.
I seen that and said, "What is that? What is that in my bed?" Like I was.
They look kind of like an apple seed has fallen in the bed, and if they're real still, they could easily, if it's just one by itself, it's easy to misidentify it for something else.
Yep. They look like a tick to me. When I first seen them, never seen them in my life.
Yeah.
Till 4 years ago. When I first seen that, I said, "That's a bed bug." I know that. I've never seen anything like that in my life, and I know that's what that is. Yep. Okay.
Well, good
Well,
luck.
you've been very helpful.
Oh, hey,
Thank
anytime.
you so much.
You have a good night. Bye.
All right.
Boy, there's been a lot of messages tonight. So I wanted to go over a comment that was made about permethrin. So Greg had made a message about permethrin earlier and was talking about how permethrin was poisonous to animals. And permethrin is poisonous to animals because he's talking about using it for mites. Actually, permethrin is a pesticide that is used to control bird mites. It's a real common pesticide to use, especially in and around chickens, in chicken houses and stuff like that, to get rid of bird mites. And he had talked about how, and I deleted the messages and everything because I want to go over this now because I don't really like bad advice being given on the channel. And he's telling nobody you should never use it inside or anything like that. And that's actually not true. Permethrin is so what permethrin is? Permethrin is a synthetic pyrethroid. It is a cholinesterase inhibitor. So without pulling up a picture on the internet, your nerve synapse is like this. So the nervous synapse, they don't actually touch. The nerve endings don't actually touch each other. But there's a chemical that flows between that synapse called cholinesterase. And when you eliminate that chemical, then the electricity can't jump back and forth between the synapse. So you end up with nervous system failure. And permethrin is a cholinesterase inhibitor. So that's what is in permethrin. But in small doses, it can be used even on pets. So if you look, I'll show you, as I want to use this as a way to teach people right here. So if you look for permethrin, let's do a search here. Permethrin. All right. So these are different pesticides with the dog treatments for cats and dogs. All right, these are just dogs right here mainly. Let's see. All right, let's see. Let's search cat because he was trying to say that it's toxic, deadly toxic to cats. So let's try cat. There you go. So here are flea treatments for cats. Now, not all of these are going to have permethrin in it. So like Frontline will have fipronil, and there's a couple up here that don't have permethrin. But actually, if you go to Walmart, you can buy a spot on the back of the neck type of pesticide that's got permethrin in it. In fact, most flea shampoos have permethrin as the active ingredient, which is what you wash your pet with to kill fleas. In very low doses, it actually won't hurt your house pets. It's one of the highest tested pesticides on pets because it's used in so many different applications. So when you use a permethrin to kill things like spider mites and clover mites and bird mites, for someone to come in and say that it's going to kill your cat is absolutely, it's just not true. If you follow your labels and you do as the label instructs you to do, you will not kill your cat. It should not be used on your cat. Don't spray your cat with it. But, you can treat your house for things like fleas and ticks and things like that, and it will kill those bugs, and just keep your pets out of the area until the chemicals dry and you won't hurt your pet. So I wanted to make sure I addressed that because I read it while I was on the phone with the bedbug lady there. So anyway, let's see. I am sorry if anyone has asked any questions that I have missed. Please don't hesitate to repeat them. It's very hard for me to keep up. I do not have my wife here to help me. She's usually here helping me, and she's not here tonight. So let's see. So I'm going to take up with Molly. Well, Molly's talking to Candy about her bedbug treatment. Let's see here. Let's see. C. Richardson says, I'm using peppermint oil on cotton balls until... Now, peppermint oil is toxic to cats and will kill cats. Just the essential oil, peppermint oil, will kill cats. It's poisonous to cats. And now permethrin is, but not as bad as peppermint oil. Peppermint oil is actually more toxic to cats than permethrin in low doses. Like I said, the permethrin is not going to hurt your cat if you mix it properly and you follow the directions. It scatters the bed bugs and repels them, but does not kill them. I'm hoping Crossfire will kill them. I got good sleep the last 2 nights. Yeah. Permethrin is not permethrin. I'm sorry. Peppermint oil will kind of repel the bed bugs a little bit, but the crossfire will actually kill them. Now you're not going to want to use your cotton balls at the same time as their crossfire because you don't want to repel the bed bugs. The idea for crossfire is to actually entice them to come out and crawl through the crossfire so they'll die. Candy says I put Nuvan strips in our car. See, that I wouldn't do. I don't like Nuvan strips. I think they're too toxic. They have Vapona in them, and they're not good for you. You definitely need to air out your car before you use your car because the Nuvan strips, they produce a toxic gas, and you want to make sure that you air out your car before you drive it anywhere. Let's see. Joe says, when bed bugs come in contact with crossfire, does the blood inside them turn brown versus red? The blood turns brown versus red after they've ingested it. It's been in their body for a little while. But yeah, you will find some. And in fact, the tiny ones are the ones you're more likely to find. Because like I said, when you look at the life cycle, so this one right here, so when this, let's go with the second stage, a little bit bigger. So these second and third stages. So this one's going to bite you. It's going to shed its skin, and it's going to be this size. And then it's going to grow off of that same blood for like a week to 10 days. So as it's growing up, it's digesting the blood. The blood is going to turn from this beet red color into a brownish color, like a rusty brown color, because that's what blood turns into when it ages. And so as it ages in the bug's body and being digested, and then this bug is going to bite you, and then it's going to be red in the body right away, just like when you first kill a mosquito that bit your arm. It's a red blood spot that it makes. This will be red when it first bites you, but then as it goes through the week to 10 days, the blood is going to turn brown, and then it's going to bite you again, and then again. So it's normal for the blood to be a different color when you kill bed bugs, especially the younger stages, because the reason the younger stages are coming out, and they're coming out to bite you, is because they're ready to feed, and so they've used all their blood, and they're ready to feed again. So when you kill them, they will have a rusty brown colored blood because they're ready to feed a second time or a third time or whatever instar you're in. Good night, Molly. You have a good night. I appreciate you stopping by. Let's see. Caveman says, have you seen those things like a beer cooler, only you plug it in to heat objects up? They come in different sizes. I have seen those. I usually use, so now I'm not for heat at all, but when you look at my Amazon page, let's see if we can get back to that. I meant to click that and I clicked the wrong thing. So if you go to the Amazon page and you scroll to the bed bugs, now I added something new today. I wanted to point this out. So if you subscribe to my channel, which you should go to my channel, youtube.com/greenacrespc, and click the subscribe button, and then go to the community tab. I posted this a little while ago. My wife found it. She found it. She thought, you've got to tell people about this because this steamer has got all kinds of attachments. It's not just a mop. So it will steam your bed, and it is for bed bugs. So this steam cleaner is one of the best for bed bugs and is on sale right now on Amazon. And this is what I just posted in my community tab 3 hours ago. Actually, when I was still in the car with her on the way to the midwife appointment, I posted this. And so you can click it right here. And there it is on Amazon. And you can go and take a look at it. This is normally like $300. This is like a $300 steam cleaner that's on sale for like half price. And so I thought that was something I should really show you guys because this is something that I would actually use. And see, these are the attachments it's got, which I think is just crazy. Like it's got all these different things you can use, like in the crevice tools in your couch and on your bed. And the thing about steam, so I'm not, like I said, you've seen me, you've watched me, you know me, I don't do heat. But this is something that you can do on your actual bed that if you come into contact, so let's say you're going to do a crossfire treatment, you're going to use crossfire, you can treat your bed with steam and you can steam your mattress first and you can kill all the live bed bugs. And the main thing is it kills the eggs. And I know crossfire claims to kill eggs, but crossfire actually doesn't kill the eggs unless they're still inside the female's body before she lays them. So it doesn't kill the eggs that are laid on the bed. So the eggs that are already laid, Crossfire won't kill. Steam will, and you just have to touch it, and it kills them instantly. It actually turns all the eggs non-viable if it comes into contact with steam, because this is like 265 degrees, I think is what it is. I think it's 275 degrees. So it's 275 degree steamer. So anyway, I just wanted to show it to you because I try to link, but the main point is whenever I find these things, I put it on my community tab. So be sure to subscribe so you can see these. And sometimes I post memes. Let me see. There's a Crossfire bottle. There's me. That was me. That's from 3 months ago. I did that. And then there's a picture of some bed bugs I found. Those are actually casings. That's what happens after they bite you. Like I was showing you here in the life cycle. They bite you in these instar phases. Let's see if I can get back to the page. Let's close that one. Let's close that one. So yeah, so there's some instars. I saw a picture. I thought, hey, I could share that with my channel. And this is some droppings here too, if you ever want to know what bedbug droppings look like. And then I've got like, there's a picture of me. I can't remember why I posted that. Sorry about the super late video tonight. I've been working at it all day. Program kept locking up. See you all Thursday night for the stream. So that was a day I had to put a Tuesday, but. And so I do these memes and stuff so often. At least we didn't use Gorilla Glue. Yeah. So anyway, just funny stuff. Subscribe to my channel. Let's see. Jason, what would you use for American roaches on exterior of the property? So to keep the American roaches out, I would probably use something like maybe a synthetic pyrethroid, maybe like Demon or Demand, or maybe Bifenthrin, something like that, to try to keep them away. You can use Alpine. You know, Alpine will kill them, but it's not going to repel them. Caveman said, I've seen them in the past looking like a drop of blood with legs. Let's see. Chaos Omen says, I actually have that one. So Chaos, you have that steamer. How do you like it? Do you like it? Because everyone I've talked to loves it. I mean, it's got like one of the highest rated steamers on Amazon. It's amazing. I think it's cool. I want to actually get it to use for my business. I was actually thinking of taking it around and using it on a crossfire treatment, using the steamer and steaming the beds. And so I get excited about this stuff. I mean, I just like, if I get another toy to use when I'm at work, it's like just something else to have fun with. So I can't wait to do my Yellow Jacket video. So I have rigged my duster. So like I was showing you, those Bellows dusters. So let's see. Let's go to the bedbug supply page here. And let me see if I got... So this Bellows duster right here, I have one of these. In fact, I have this one, except it's red. It's not blue. And on the bottom right here, I have attached a GoPro camera. So when I go after a yellow jacket nest and I'm dusting a yellow jacket nest, I've got a GoPro pointed right at this tip so you can see the action. And I'm going to try to make a video on how to get rid. So my son, he actually goes with me and he will film from one angle. And then I've got the GoPro on this filming the actual, getting rid of the yellow jackets. And so when I'm hoping that by if I can get enough of these videos, I can actually get a really good video for you guys showing you how to get rid of yellow jackets, because it is yellow jacket season. They are bad. They are everywhere. Let's see. Kathy says, I went to bed the other night and noticed a few little bugs flying around. Woke up to a bunch of them varying sizes in my bathroom landing on my mirror, so I swatted what I could. That sounds like drain flies, like we were talking at the beginning of the stream. You might want to rewind to the beginning and rewatch that part, because it's a lot of information on drain flies. Candy Ward says, so do you think we have mites and bed bugs? Does Crossfire kill mites, or should we be spraying something else too? If we spray something else, will that ruin the Crossfire effect? Yes, potentially. If you use something else, you could impede on the effect of Crossfire. Especially if you use that suspend, like I was talking about on the channel about mites, that will probably counteract Crossfire. If you were to use Permethrin or something like that, it would counteract it too. So if you have bed bugs in your car, not in your car, I'm sorry. If you have bed bugs in your house, you need to get rid of the bed bugs first. Crossfire might kill the mites, it might not, but Crossfire is only labeled for bed bugs. It kills a lot of other bugs. Crossfire has been known to kill things like cockroaches, ants, silverfish, spiders, but it's only labeled for bed bugs. And I honestly wouldn't use anything but Crossfire for bed bugs because it's too expensive. You can get cheaper pesticides that do the same thing and kill the same other bugs without wasting your money on Crossfire. Crossfire is good, but it's really should only be used for bed bugs. Chaos says it's super great. My only issue is that the reservoir is kind of small. I think that's one of the problems I've had with steam cleaners is that you're constantly having to fill them up. I don't think it matters what size reservoir you've got because it's steam and because it's boiling the water. I find that they use them up really fast no matter what size reservoir you've got. James Ward says, can I use the steamer on my mattress with the bedbug cover on it? I would remove the bedbug cover and use it on the mattress and then put a new cover back on. That's what I would do. Because you could wash your cover. You could take the cover, the bedbug cover, and actually wash it. You could probably use the steamer on a bedbug cover, but it's one of those plastic ones. I wouldn't. It would probably melt it. You want a cloth cover, like a nylon or something like that. But even then, you can take them off and wash them and then put it back on the mattress when you're done. That's what I would do. If you have to use a bedbug mattress encasement. Linda says, I've seen a couple of mice. I had some peanut butter on glue trap. I guess it's on a glue trap. Will it go for the peanut butter? It can. But if you're having a problem with mice taking peanut butter, you can use a piece of insulation or like a wool or a piece of matting or something tied to a like a T-Rex trap or just a regular snap trap. And they will go after that thinking it's a piece of nesting material. And a lot of times where the mice or rats are more cautious with food, sometimes they will fall for the nesting material first just because they love to grab that stuff. You know, the whole term pack rat was invented for the fact that, you know, mice and rats cannot resist nesting material. And so if you use like a piece of a cushion or something and you just just a little bitty piece and just tie it to the end with like a piece of dental floss or something and just tie it to the end of your mouse trap, then they will come and try to get it and it will get them because they can't resist it. And they have to pull it away too. It's not something they can just sit there and just lick off the trap. Like bait, they actually have to pull it off. And when they grab it with their mouth and try to yank it off of there, they're dead. So I recommend that if you want to use snap traps. That works really, really well. I have actually had it work when bait would not work. So think outside the box. Don't think something they want to eat. Think something that they want to have. Kathy says, P.S. I didn't get to finish with my question about the flying bugs. Do you think they could be fruit flies? Because I think they're too big to be gnats. Well, they might be. One thing about fruit flies is they will be different color because fruit flies have a thing about interbreeding and they will actually turn pink in color, like a light pink, like a dark pink or a darkish reddish pink color. And so that's one way you can tell them apart from drain flies. Also, drain flies, so let's look at some pictures. Let's see if we can find some good pictures of drain flies. There's our bed bug life cycle. I'm going to leave that up just in case somebody asks again. All right, drain flies. So a drain fly, all right, so this is what a drain fly looks like. If you have this is what drain fly, now they're really tiny. They're really super tiny. This picture is, you know, yeah, it's a good picture and all, but it's really up close. So that's a drain fly. Now you see how their wings kind of branch off, kind of like a moth? That's how drain flies are. If you go and you look at fruit flies, oops, I spelled that wrong. But you see how they have the pinkish color body? And they look different. See, their wings are different. They're more like a fly. They're a lot like a fly. So like I said, fruit flies are like that weird kind of pinkish, yellowish, orangey tinge. And they go after fruit. You can also catch fruit flies in vinegar, and you won't really catch drain flies in vinegar as well as you will fruit flies, because drain flies are more interested in rotting refuge and not so much fermented. Fruit flies are going to go after fermented. Drain flies are going to go after rotting things. So they eat different things. Hey, Andre. P.S. I thought they were gnats first coming up from the drain, but never saw any coming up from there. Yeah, you typically you won't see them coming up, but if you use the old school like the apple cider vinegar, that's one surefire way to tell if they're fruit flies or not, because the fruit flies are going to go in the apple cider vinegar trap. Do you have a video on getting rid of mice? I've looked. I cannot find. Oh yeah. So if you go to YouTube, you need to search mice or mouse. Mouse Monday. Now, the reason I say Monday is because that was the name of my series. And so here's a whole series. Let me see. Can I share just this? Let me see. Here's the playlist for Mouse Monday. And every time I come up with a new mouse video, I just add it here, whether it had to do with this series. So I did a series, like I said, Mouse Monday, episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then a bonus episode. But then I actually, every time I do a mouse video, I add them to this playlist just because it's the playlist for mice. And so I've got like, when it's definitely a waste of time and money to hire pest control, I talk about mice. You can't really see that on my screen there. But yeah, I recommend going to see this. Let me see if I can share this. I'll share this link in chat for you. And there's my playlist on mice. So if you're interested to see that, you can. But anyway, let's see here. When using Crossfire, what should I do with an encasement that was bought for a new mattress 3 months ago? If the bed bugs are living on the encasement, I would wash the encasement if it's washable. And you could always put it back on the mattress, but if the encasement is ripped, you need to throw it away and treat your mattress. Do not buy a new mattress encasement until after the bed bugs are dead. And like I said, I'm sorry if I don't get to all your questions. I am trying to get to all of them, but it's easy for me to skip over things because it's been, an hour and 15 minutes. It's almost midnight, and I'm tired. And so I miss questions sometimes. Sorry. Let's see. The Real Duct Tape Bandit said, how long did it take you to learn all the stuff to do what you do? I've been learning all your life. Yeah, I've been learning all my life. I learn every day. I'm learning now. I learn from you guys. You guys ask me questions, and then I go and I look it up. When I get asked a question like, how long does a bed bug live for? Or how many eggs can a bed bug lay? Or where am I getting these German cockroaches from? Or, I look this stuff up. Well, these are questions I've known the answers to for a long time, but, just to give you an example. When you ask me questions, this is why I always say in all of my videos, at least I try to say it in all of my videos, please, if you have a question, leave a comment below. This is what fuels my channel. If you have a question, there are other people that have the same question you do. And if you have a question, I want to know what it is so that I can help other people like you. Not just you, but I help other people too. And it's not about, so one of the things about YouTube likes to show people the same thing. So if I have a channel about bed bugs and I put a bed bug video up, a lot of people will see that video because YouTube has already deemed me as a channel about bed bugs. Even though I'm about pest control, YouTube feels like it's important that anytime I show a video about bed bugs to show everyone that video. So for example, my video the other day that I posted about bed bugs and your stuff, like trying to get rid of bed bugs out of your things, has over 600 views now. And in fact, let's see how many it's got. So if I pull up my app and I look, let's see, dashboard. All right, my video from 2 days ago, this is Tuesday, 2 days ago when I released my regular videos, I have 612 views. Now that's not a lot, I'm not like a big YouTuber or anything like that. I don't have millions of subscribers. I have 15,000. But I got 612 views so far since Tuesday. Now, my video, let's see, my video on Let's see. Well, those are actually doing pretty good. My video on like New York and Canada, now that because that's more of a niche video, it was put up 2 months ago, only 496 views. Okay, the video before that I did on pest control, stop wasting your money, 380 views, and that was like 2 months ago. So YouTube likes my bedbug videos. They're like, look, I've made double the viewage on just one video that I put 2 days ago. I've got twice as many views as one that I put up, 2 months ago. YouTube likes that. They like bedbugs. But if you have a question about spider mites or clover mites or, cockroaches or anything, I will do a video on it. I don't care about YouTube. YouTube doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that I answer your questions because there are other people that will have that same question, and I don't care if I put it on my channel. I don't care if it hurts the channel. The whole point is the channel is there for pest control. I'm not using the channel to make money. I'm using the channel to help you. So if you have a question about anything at all, leave it. I want to know. You help me learn. I help you learn. We work together. This is a team. We're a team. Linda says, I've seen ants running around like crazy. There are less now, but why are they still here? What do they want? So ants are very determined to get in your home. Once they get in your home, so what happens is a scout will come out and and I'm going to come out here and I find the food. And then he lays a trail all the way back to the other ants. And so let's see. Let's do, people like when I do this. Let's do a drawing with Jason. So, and I use my mouse, and it's really crappy, and it looks awful, and it's on MS Paint. So, that's like pro stuff there. Not no Photoshop here. We do MS Paint, right? So, let's see. Let's draw a picture. So, you've got a kitchen counter. Well, can I do it? Let's get a line. Let's do a line tool. Will that draw? Yeah, there we go. All right, so there's your kitchen counter right there. All right, and then we're going to draw, let's see. Let's do it like this. So there's your kitchen counter. And then here are your cabinets. All right. And then this will be your sink right here. We're going to do this. So we're going to pretend. Now you got to pretend that this is not three-dimensional, okay? So your ants, let's use a different color for the ants. Your ants will be crawling right here under the lip of this countertop. Now I'm doing the best I can. I'm using a mouse, all right? So the ants are there, all right? What happens is that soldier or scout comes in and lays that chemical trail. Now it's red. Now maybe he came in a window. Maybe you have a window. Let's say we have a window. I'm like the Bob Ross of MS Paint. We got a window right here. All right. Now your ants are coming in through this window. Coming in through this window because at some point they found food right here on your countertop. All right. So that scout laid a trail there. And then so you've got ants marching back and forth, hoping that you put more food there on that counter, trying to find that. And so if you treat along this windowsill with like Alpine WSG, or even put a bait there where they're going to find it in their trail, they'll come out, they'll find it. But they're going to continue to come because that chemical trail that scout has laid, it does not disappear. It stays there. It's always there. It's how they're able to know where the food is, because all the ants don't just automatically, magically know where your food and water source is. They have to have a scout lead them to it. So let's say this is your count. Let's say you've got cat food. And let's say you got cat food, like you feed your cat right here next to the sink because you got a dog. You don't want the dog to get into the cat food. But the ants have found the cat food, and they know the cat food is there. And so they're coming out, and they're getting into cat food, and then the ants are all in the cat food. Then the cats won't eat the cat food. All right? They're going to continue to come to this spot. You can move the cat food over here. But because the ants are now traveling this area, they're going to find the cat food even if you put it over here because they're always here. So you have to treat those areas that the trail, where the ant trail has been laid, and when they crawl through it, they all die, and then your ants are gone. So, and Alpine works through transference. So the way that works is if one ant gets it, so let's do that. Let me explain transference. Let's clear this. Let's see, new, don't save, because we don't want to save. All right, so this is how transference works. Let's draw us an ant. All right, we got a circle, and a circle, and a circle. This is going to have a nice big booty on it. There we go. And then we got legs. Let's put some legs. 1. And I'm drawing these through here because it's an insect. Insects have 6 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so that's our ant. That's going to be our ant. So let's copy this ant. All right. Cut. All right, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V. Okay. Actually, looks like something you would. There we go. All right. So, Alpine. The way Alpine works. This ant right here. This ant has crawled through Alpine. And he is sick. But he has crawled through the Alpine. But he's not dead yet. So then this ant comes into contact with this ant. He's like, hey, man, how you doing? All right, now this ant is sick. All right. Now this ant, he don't realize he's sick either. So he goes and he contacts this ant. Okay, now that ant's sick. All right. And then this ant does the same thing to this ant, and then he's sick. So now all the ants are sick, and the only one that had to cross through the chemical, the Alpine, was this one. This is the one. But now every single ant has gotten exposed, and every single ant dies just because this one right here crawled through the chemical. That is how Alpine works. That's how Samari works. That's how Crossfire works. That's how a lot of new pesticides work, is they work through transference. They're extremely safe to use around like children and pets because they don't really affect mammals, but they affect insects in this way. And all they have to do is touch one another to transfer. It's like cooties, all right? It's like, I touched him and he gave me cooties. You know, that's what it's like. It's exactly what it's like. It's like the old game you played when you were in school, cooties. So that is how the new pesticides work. That's why they're so effective. Candy says, I'm in a Facebook group called The Struggles with Bedbugs, and they tell everyone to watch your videos. That's how I heard about you. Well, that is fantastic. I should be in that video. I should be in that group. C. Richardson says, oh, Caveman says, would you say bedbugs are your most common call on average? No. I get called on everything. Mice, hornets, ants, crickets, everything. Bedbugs are not one of my biggest calls. I don't get a lot of bedbug work. I do it when people call me, but I don't get a lot of bedbug work. Bedbugs are like every now and then. Once or twice. Maybe once a week. Maybe. But most of the time people call me for other things like spiders and bees. I've had a lot of bee calls lately. It's seasonal. So, you know, you get a lot of ants and bees and spider calls this time of year. C. Richardson says, my aunt lives in a senior community, and they have a lot of residents who get bedbugs. The landlord has an in-house exterminator, and he uses some concoction with eucalyptus oil. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. How long should I wait until I spray her apartment with Crossfire? I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I hate when they do that stuff to people, when they get their in-house pest control and they think that's completely fine, and then they abuse. I feel like that's senior abuse, honestly, when they do that kind of thing and they're not doing a decent job and they're not taking care of people. Landlords are notorious for this. In Virginia, I mean, I think in Florida, landlords aren't even allowed to do pest control. They have to hire out somebody. But as far as how often, I would probably do it the day after the guy comes and sprays if you're really wanting to do it. If you can get away with it, as long as you know there's no lease agreement saying you can't spray anything, then I would probably wait a day and then do it. Let's see, a couple people talking to each other. Okay, so Chaos says, so if we have been bedbug free for 4 years and still don't get bites, then are they gone for sure? Yeah, yeah, of course. I've always been paranoid about them somehow just hibernating somewhere. No, they're gone. Bedbugs can't live 4 years without a blood meal. They're gone. Let's see. Will bleach kill the trail? It's possible. Like if you clean your countertops, but I will tell you about bleach and ants is if you use bleach around pesticides, your pesticides will no longer work, but you might be able to kill the trail that they've laid. But the problem is ants aren't just laying the trail on the outside. I mean, on the inside of your house, they're laying it on the outside of your house, and also through the walls they travel through as well. And you can't actually get the bleach into those areas. And so it's easier to treat the residual the trail with a residual pesticide and let that kill the ants, because it will actually, like I showed you with the transference effect, it will kill them all, even those that don't crawl through the trail. And they eventually will stop coming altogether because the entire colony dies. Because you got to think, if that one ant, like I showed you earlier, if that one ant comes into contact with the chemical, and then, let's see, do I still have that picture? All right, so if that one ant right there comes into contact with the chemical, that one, and then let's say this one, let's say this ant right here. Now this is exposed. It's the queen. All right, there's the queen right there. That's a horrible picture. Let's see. Let's make it bigger. We need a bigger crown. She's a really good queen. Let's see, like this. Oh, that's horrible. Okay, my 3-year-old made that crown. So anyway, that's the queen. She's been exposed. All right, there are multiple queens in an ant nest, but either way, that's one of the queens has been eliminated. That's one of the reproductives. And so if these ants end up getting back to the reproductive and killing them, the whole nest dies with them anyway. So that's why bleach is really should not be used as a pesticide, except like I was saying earlier, when you're killing drain flies and stuff like that down in the drain, you're not actually killing the bugs, you're killing the bacteria the bugs are breeding in. Otherwise, bleach shouldn't really be used for pest control. I've got a question. We've sprayed Crossfire, but there are still bed bugs where we sprayed. How are they surviving even though we sprayed for them? So let's say you sprayed your bed for bed bugs with Crossfire, and you sprayed that mattress, okay? And then let's say a week goes by, and you see that a bed bug has crawled over that specific spot on your mattress, where there's spray, but the bed bug's not dead. Not like they were dying a week ago. And that's because the residue for Crossfire will only kill the bed bugs within 5 minutes when it's wet. When it's dry, it takes about not a week to 10 days. It takes about 3 to 4 hours for a bed bug to die after it's crawled through a residue. So it will die eventually. And in fact, if you catch that bed bug that crawled over that treated surface and put it in a jar, it'll be dead in a day probably. But that's the point. So you need to give it time to kill them. So let's see. Linda says, I'm in Brooklyn, New York. I have a slumlord. I hate slumlords. Oh, they're awful. Awful to work for. They just don't take care of their tenants. They're like I said, they're downright abusive. They really are. It's not against the law for a property owner to rent a home knowing it has bed bugs. No, it's not. It is not against the law for a property owner to rent a home knowing it has bed bugs. But there are things that can be done to make the property owner pay for the bed bug treatment. So, people have gone to court and won court cases over this all the time. They win these court cases all the time. In fact, in New York specifically, there was a woman that sued a landlord after 6 months of dealing with a bedbug problem that the landlord would not get rid of. She sued him and won an over $2 million lawsuit. They awarded her damages. They awarded her pain and suffering because she had so many bedbug sores on her body from where she had scratched and it had caused lesions that she couldn't even put a 2-piece bathing suit. She couldn't even put a 1-piece bathing suit on and go to the beach because she had all these sores on her body from the bed bugs. So, if you're a property owner and you're thinking of a cheap way to get rid of bed bugs, $2 million is not very cheap. My name, Jeff, said, hey, Jason. Hey, Jeff. Just wanted to let you know Permethrin isn't used in Frontline or Advantage. No, it's not. I didn't say it was. I said some of the spot on the neck are Permethrin. Some of them are. But no, Advantage and Frontline are not Permethrin. Frontline is fipronil, and Advantage is, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. let's see. So John says, so Alpine works on roaches and ants. What else does Alpine work on? Alpine works on lots of things. So let's look up a label for Alpine. Alpine. WSG. Oh, let's look up the label. That's be better. All right. So, Alpine. Oh, let's change my scene here. Kills ants. All right. We went over ants. It also kills Asian lady beetles, kudzu bugs, bed bugs, beetles, including confused flower beetle, granary beetle, lesser grain borer, and whole house beetle, brown marmoted stink bugs, centipedes, cockroaches, including American, German, and Tuscan, or Tuscatan, that word, columbola, crickets, earwigs, fleas, house flies, millipedes, mosquitoes, paper wasps, pill bugs, sow bugs, spiders, stored product pests, including flower beetle, granary beetle, lesser grain borer, and whole house beetle, and yellow jackets, for use in and around animal housing, including calf hutches. You know, that could be used everywhere. It could be used lots of places. So yeah, Alpine's for lots of things. With the help of God, to spray the whole apartment with crossfire, should you use a respirator to breathe? No, you don't need to use a respirator. James Martin says, I have 2 lamp stands made of wicker. Haven't seen bed bugs on them. Should I toss them anyway? No, not if there aren't bed bugs on them. I wouldn't toss them. Caveman says, in some states, they have to tell you about ghosts. Bed bugs should be the same. Are you serious? I had no idea. Chaos says, so I have heard mouthwash in a spray bottle can repel mosquitoes. Is that true? I've heard it's true, but I don't know if it is. I wouldn't try it. I use DEET because my wife gave me some stuff to use on mosquitoes that she said would work, and they ate me alive. So I just use DEET. I just use DEET 40% always. That's what I use. In fact, when I go in to do a flea treatment, here's a little tip. You can treat your pants with DEET, and it will keep the fleas off your pants, and you won't infest your truck or your house. And it is a lifesaver. It is amazing. Candy says, does crossfire kill mites in case we have them too? Like I said, they might kill mites, but it's only labeled for bed bugs. So I can only tell you what it's labeled for, but I can tell you that in the past, in homes that I've treated with crossfire for bed bugs, they don't really have any bugs at all. Now, they weren't really having problems with mites, so I'm not sure if it'll kill mites. I wouldn't try it for mites. I would just kill the bed bugs, and if the mites die, then that's good. But there are some things, like a miticide is typically something that you want to use for mites. And there are specific pesticides that are for mites and that work better for mites. So not every chemical, just because it works on one bug, doesn't necessarily mean it works on another bug. Linda Storrs says, I have the original, and thank you, Rose. Linda says, I have the original windows in my living room. The wood is old, probably damp. It's split where I can see the outside. That's where I'm seeing ants. Now, the few I'm seeing are baby ants. Yeah, so you can treat that spot with Alpine. It'll kill them. And if you've got mosquitoes, there are different things you can use for mosquitoes. I don't know if Alpine's for mosquitoes or not. Oh, yeah, Alpine's for mosquitoes. So if you'll notice the label right here, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me see if I can zoom in here. All right, let's see. Oh, no! Don't do that. Okay. Mosquitoes. There. Mosquitoes, right there. Right there. Alpine's for mosquitoes. So you could treat your bushes and stuff. They'd kill mosquitoes. So you would only need Alpine. Alpine would kill mosquitoes and ants. Let's see. What about mosquitoes? Oh, yeah, you said that. And then Candy says, thank you. And with that, I think I've gotten to the bottom of the question list. And I have been on here for an hour and a half. I have 28 viewers. I'm hoping that you guys can like my channel. Like the video tonight if you're on here and you're watching. I got 27 watching. Let's see. Let's click here. I got 26 watching right now. I only have 12 likes. Look, I got 1 dislike. You know, come on now. Come on now. I've been here for an hour and a half on a Thursday night after I've worked all day. You give me some love. Give me some love. But anyway, I'm going to log out for the night because I'm exhausted. It is 12:15. I've been working all day long. All day long. And then I got on here and I had to talk. My wife said, why don't you just tell them it's late? I'll come on tomorrow night. And I'm like, no, people expect me here on Thursday night. I'm going to be here Thursday night. Here I am. I am here to talk to you and be here with you. So hopefully this video has helped you. Hopefully you've gotten something from tonight's live stream. And like I said, if you're watching this later, give me a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And hopefully I will have a yellow jacket video for you guys on Tuesday. And also, if the link below, I think it's in the link below. Yeah, my TikTok. Go check out my TikTok. I got some funny stuff over there, and I got some good bug information over there too. Stuff I can't put here. So y'all have a great night, great day, great whatever time, wherever you are. I hope you're enjoying life, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.